Hello and welcome to a how-to video. I'm going to show you how to use the new Stampin blends from Stampin Up. We've got a special brochure just for these, so if you'd like one of these, just go onto my blog or YouTube channel, send me a message or an email and I'll send one out in the post to you. But I'm just going to share with you some of the tips and tricks that I've found with my first kind of practices with it. So I used the thick Whisper White cardstock, which is on the right hand side, and then the shimmery white cardstock, which is on the left, and then obviously the Memento ink pad that you can see, and that's what Stampin' Up recommends for you to use with these. So for the purposes of the little bird, I used the dark pink pirouette and the light pink pirouette, so all of our colours come in two options. And what I found to be the most effective is to lay down the dark colour first, and you can see that I'm using the nib end, and there's also a brush end too, and it is the same colour in both, but I find that the nib end is just a little bit more precise for the smaller images. So I've laid down where I want the shadow to go, and then I'm just filling in with the lighter colour. You can see the contrast there, and I will show you the colour contrast right at the end as well. So what I do is I fill in the space that I want with the light, and then I go over the dark and start to merge them together. And if you watch the tummy part, you can really see how the light kind of blends into the dark at the tummy, and then you obviously, if you keep going, you can lose a lot of that dark. So what I took again was the dark nib and just went over where I wanted that extra layer of shadow to be. And what I've actually found with these pens is that you can layer and layer and layer, and you can keep going over and then go back. So they do bleed through a little bit if you lay down a lot of ink, it does go through. So just make sure you've got a piece of grid paper underneath, but not enough that it's a problem. And I had a little issues of going over the lines even with the nib end. So this is the colour lifter, and I would definitely recommend that. Just if you go outside of the lines at all, it's like being back at school. I didn't like to go outside of the lines then, and I don't like it very much now. And I wanted to show you again on the shimmery white cardstock, so you can see it's a different colour to start with, but this is also the cardstock that we recommend watercolouring on. And what I found was it seems to absorb a little more of the ink, and I don't know if you can see very much on the flower cards that I did above. It seems to have much more of a watercolory look to it, and obviously it's the same ink colours that I'm using, the same nibs and the same colour, and it seemed to absorb a bit more of that, and it had the exact same effect. And I think the pink pirouette blends beautifully, but I did notice a difference between the two, and obviously you can see that for yourself. And again, I'm just going over where I think the shadow would be, and the colouring in the legs and things as well. And I wanted to show you the differences between the two colours. So this is just crumb cake, and I want to show you the colour lifter and what it can do. So I'm just lifting off some of the colour on both. And I just think that the thick Whisper White card image looks a little crisper, so it depends what you're going for. And I wanted to show you the cherry cobbler. I thought out of all of the colours that we've started to do, then that had the least contrast, so you might want to bear that in mind. And I've compared it with I've compared it with the CALYPSO coral below, so you can see the difference there. That's the ivory that I've laid down, and then crumb cake light and dark above the two. And ivory is quite a good filler colour, so if you want to have something where it looks like the light shining, you could either leave it white, but if you don't want to, you could have ivory and it would look paler. And then we've got pumpkin pie and smoky slate, and there's lots of other colours. I just showed you some, but I just wanted to see the difference between the contrasts. And there's also a kit that we've bought out, that's the Colour Me Happy kit, and it is a limited time only kit. So if you do want this kit with beautiful images, and I'm showing it here, then you need to get in fast. So obviously all of these launch November the 1st, and they're available for you to buy through my blog, shop link, or on Facebook. Thanks for joining me. Bye.